Hello and welcome to N Focus, coming to you this week from Peach Beach in the Mario Kart world. I'm joined today by my co-host Rosalie. How are you doing on this in this post-Switch 2 world?
Oh no, I keep. Well, I don't forget because I have it, but how bizarre. Uh, I'm okay. I'm a bit anxious because my fiance has surgery tomorrow. So, and I was thinking, is like, do I bring my Switch 2 to the waiting room? But then I'd be worried if I fell asleep, someone would steal it. Uh,
Yeah,
so I am gonna leave it here.
maybe bring the Switch 1.
Yeah. Oh, but it's a nice OLED one. I might bring the Steam Deck because I'm not annoyed if someone takes it, but like, I don't know. I feel like they might not know what it is. They might not annoy me. But other than that, I'm good. I'm just a bit tired because it's been a bit of a crazy, not even a week since the Switch 2 came out. Nearly.
Yeah, wow, it has been less than a week.
Yeah, I keep thinking it's been a week. It has not. So I'm a bit
No.
sleepy because I was like, oh, I'm going to rest at the weekend. And then my friends were like, oh, we're going to come over and play Switch. And I was like, oh,
Yay.
so tired. But I can confirm that nobody has beaten me yet at Mario Kart Even World. So yeah.
Nice. I can't say the same.
Oh no. Oh, was that?
Yeah, I'll get into why a little bit later. But first, I want to mention that I'm also doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm also a little tired because I've been super busy just doing tech stuff.
Text. Oh yeah, of course. Live streamy text.
Yeah, live streamy tech stuff. And I also wanted to note, like right at the top of the show, we will not be covering Summer Game Fest on this episode. Apparently, there were like 200-ish games announced over the course of like 5 days, and they decided to have it the weekend after the new Switch came out, which I assume there was not a lot of communication between the two parties on that. Wouldn't have done that if it were me, you know? But yeah, we have more than enough to talk about on this episode, specifically pertaining to the Switch 2, as we are a Nintendo podcast. So no Summer Game Fest, just letting you know.
Yeah. People can Google.
Yeah, there will inevitably be hundreds and hundreds of articles of here's all the games announced at Summer Games Fest or at this particular live stream, because there are, I think, like 10 announcement live streams, probably more actually.
I forgot. Well, I watched because there was a State of Play as well, and then there was the Xbox showcase. I watched some things, and then I forgot just how much stuff was going on.
It's like a WrestleMania week, but for gaming.
Exactly. Yeah, I do remember like a lot of the Switch stuff only said Switch. It didn't say Switch 2 because I have a feeling that a lot of devs didn't get a hold of Switch 2 dev kits.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was in our interest to cover it anyway. But yeah, people can just look it up. I'm sure some of the games will pop up in the future if you play them though anyway. Yeah.
Before we get into the news stories, however, I do want to remind everyone that we have a Patreon. That's patreon.com/gamepodular. Pay us a couple bucks, help us pay for hosting costs, keep the lights on, all that kind of thing. Don't have to, of course. You know, take care of your own finances first. It's rough out there. But if you can, we would certainly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Also, if you're listening to this on YouTube, hey, what up, YouTube? Click the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, click the like button and leave something in the comments. Today, tell us who your favorite character in Mario Kart World is to play.
Ooh, yeah. Should we say ours?
I mean, we could say it now. We do have a section later in the episode on Mario Kart World. But mine is biker costume Waluigi at the moment.
Ah. I had a feeling, yeah, that's been a popular one at the weekend with my pals. Mine is any version of Princess Peach. To no one's surprise. Her kimono outfit that I think
I don't have that one yet.
That's from, I think it's from, she wears that in Super Mario Odyssey originally, I think. At the end of the game where you see her like traveling everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I always loved,
likely to me.
yeah, I always loved that design and she just looks really cute. To be fair, any version of Peach. Like her little summer outfit with the big hat and her new kind of like,
that one.
Her new bikery outfit is really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't unlocked that many yet, I don't think. But just Peach. I just love Peach.
So yeah, if you are on YouTube, drop that in the comments, click the like button, hit the bell to get notifications. Also, we have a second YouTube channel now for stream VODs. It's Game Podular Streams and Highlights, I believe. I made it yesterday, so it's not like super fresh in my mind. It's super fresh in my mind, but it hasn't quite taken hold yet. So again, more on the streaming thing later in the episode. But first, we're going to get to the news. Our first news story is not NSO games, but it is some little news stories that came from the Nintendo Today app, an app that I installed on launch day and keep forgetting that is on my phone.
Yep.
The first one is that the live-action Legend of Zelda movie has been delayed from March 26th to May 7th, 2027. Okay. Cool. Like, I don't... The reason I bring it up is I just don't know why... If there's still so much development time left on it, why they would announce it this early, I guess.
Yeah, because have they even started filming it?
I mean, realistically...
Maybe? Like pre-production?
Pre-production, yeah. Because, like, I'm going to admit, I don't know a lot about film production, but I imagine this is going to be an CGI-heavy film. So, like, just doing all, like, post-production and CGI stuff is going to take forever.
Yeah.
I assume they're at least in pre-production, if not further. Although we haven't heard anything about casting yet.
No. So. It's very weird. Like, I mean, they're technically in inverted commas was a teaser trailer. It was just like a logo or whatever. It just feels weird to announce it when we haven't heard anything else. Like, the movie that's still being made is still being made. Cool.
Yeah. Just announce it closer to the release date when you actually have a better idea of what the release date is. You know? Because I'm not a gambling man, but if I was, I would put money on this not being the only time we're going to get a notice about the film being delayed.
Yeah. The only reason I can think they did it is maybe in case it's like to let other studios know so they don't clash by releasing something big around the same time.
I mean, maybe, but again, like what if the release date gets bumped to like August, you know?
Yeah. It's very weird.
Like even if you announce it, say like a year from now, I'd say studios still have enough time to like once you're done filming, you know, maybe potentially by then studios will still have more than enough like lead time to like rearrange the schedules.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Unless you're like James Cameron's Avatar franchise, announcing a movie this far in advance just seems illogical to me.
It does. It's very weird.
Yeah.
I do have a feeling like, because I imagine the second Mario movie is going to come out before this. I wonder if they're saving showing more of it as like a pre-movie trailer alongside the next Mario movie, because that would make sense.
That would make sense.
Or they
could shove it on Nintendo Today and not let anyone screen record it for no reason. Shots fired. What a dumb decision.
How timely. Yes, it's very peculiar. Very peculiar.
Yeah. And the other news story from Nintendo today is there were some Splatoon news updates, including some like new weapons and a new map coming to Splatoon 3, like 30 new weapons with like from different companies, which I didn't know that was a thing in Splatoon. Again, I've never played any of them. I've talked about this since like the first episode I was on, I think. But I don't understand Splatoon at all. I know very little about it. Also, ahead of that, they just announced a new Splatoon game, like a spin-off called Splatoon Raiders.
Yeah.
It seems to be a single-player, like open-world crafting type of game. Like you play as a mechanic, is something they said in the trailer. We know very little about it beyond that. We know it's a Switch 2 exclusive, and they haven't given us a release date yet. Just stay tuned for more.
Yay. I'm hype.
But I know at least one person on the Discord was very excited to hear that there's a new life in the Splatoon franchise.
I like enjoyed the main solo campaign in 3 more than the actual online stuff, so although I have a feeling this maybe was meant to be DLC of some kind and then it didn't run, or I don't know, there was some reason or other they didn't put it in there. But so I hope it's not going to be like full priced if it's like a little short solo experience. But I am excited, especially if it means more amiibos.
I'd be interested to see what like the game actually is, because Splatoon as a franchise has always sort of fascinated me. I really like the art style. I really like the concept behind it. I just don't like competitive online games, so I've never really bought one.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Although
I'm a co-op guy.
Yeah. I mean, you could play it with friends technically. So
yeah,
but I get I mean, I would still argue that you get lots of enjoyment with it, especially the solo stuff and the salmon run, which is online, but it's not like competitive per se. That I find that more fun than the actual normal battles. But yeah, it'd be cool if you ended up liking this, and because it's a good. That makes it. It's a good way for people who don't like online shooters of any variety to still experience the kind of cool, vibrant world of Splatoon. So that's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Got a whole new wave of squid friends.
Our next news story is, hey, did you hear about this thing called the Switch 2? Because it came out last week.
Yay!
Finally. After all these years.
I know,
I am free.
You got yours before me as well, Jelly.
Yeah, I did have to like physically walk to the store to pick mine up and carry it back. But on the other hand, I didn't have to wait on a delivery service like a lot of other people did. So mine was like plugged in and system transferring before lunch.
Oh, yeah, I had to. Well, I was working anyway, so it's not like I could have played it before end of shift. But yeah, I think that poor delivery guy I had was only delivering Switch 2s that day.
Yeah, not surprising.
And I literally because I have one of those doorbell cameras, because I heard that the company that the site that I used was leaving them at people's doors and not like actually handing it over. So I ran to the door and I saw the truck. And he was like, "Oh, it must be a good delivery if you're this early to the door." I was like, "Maybe." And I was like, "Oh, is it Nintendo related?" And I was like, "Maybe." It was funny.
So yeah, it went very well for both of us and for most people by the sounds of it. I did see, at least there's an electronics retailer in the Netherlands called Mediamarkt. They also exist in Belgium and Germany off the top of my head, that had to cancel some orders on release day because they placed more orders than they had stock.
Oops.
But at the very least, neither of us live on Staten Island in New York, where some number of employees stapled the like order receipts to the front of the Switch 2 box, thereby pushing the staple into the glass of the screen because the screen is like right at the top of the box.
Yeah, that's grim.
Yeah.
I
Now,
do.
we're laughing, we're joking. It's very easy to clown on this person or people. We don't know who it was, but I am going to stick up for them here. They had no way of knowing how the console would be packaged without getting to open a box themselves, and considering this happened at the midnight launch at the GameStop where this happened, they would have not been able to do that.
Yeah.
They wanted to, they needed the receipts to be attached to the box somehow, but it was hot, it was humid, and the air conditioning wasn't working. So their original plan of taping it to the box didn't work because the tape wouldn't stick. So, they needed to get the receipts onto the boxes, knowing that there would be a lot of boxes to hand out at midnight.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say is I probably would have done the same thing in that situation. Given the givens, I don't think this person did anything wrong. Obviously, they did damage the Switch 2s, and a lot of customers weren't happy. I did see an update to the story where a number of them did get to swap their damaged Switch 2s for a new one from a different GameStop store in the nearby area. That's pretty cool from GameStop. Good job.
Yeah.
But, anyone clowning on whoever did this, you and I don't agree on this.
Also,
I think they made a very sensible decision.
As someone that's worked in retail for decades, and also in environments that sold games, I personally have an inkling that the idea to do that wasn't a staff member, it was probably a managerial decision. Because whenever silly things like this happen, it's rarely someone at, the front-facing side of things that made... I'm speculating, right? But
yeah,
doing 20 years of retail-ish, maybe less than that, 15 years of retail, that's usually when things like that happen. It would have been someone high up. And someone probably brought it up and went, hey, I don't think we should do this. And they went, no, don't be silly, do it anyway. And, you can't really speak up when you're down the food chain. I just had that image in my head because I've been in very similar situations where I couldn't make decisions, and I knew there was going to be stupid outcomes, and there was stupid outcomes. And you can't do anything about it because retail sucks.
It does.
So, I don't know. That's my, theory. But yeah, retail is so horrendous that I literally, physically and mentally, I'm not meant to work in retail anymore. I've had medical professionals tell me, don't avoid retail, So,
retail is harrowing. I'm going to say I've never worked a retail job. I've worked manual labor stuff at a greenhouse and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But I've never worked retail. But all my friends I know who have worked retail or food service as well.
Oh yeah, hospitality. Yeah, it's also awful.
Just you basically get treated like cattle. They barely see you as people, just a set of arms and legs who will do whatever they tell you to.
Yeah, for little to no pay. Also, things like this do happen. I'm sure there was something because I've worked in hospitality too, and I've never dropped a glass or anything, but I've messed up pouring a pint or something. But you can just treat retail staff nice, even if they accidentally break your Switch too, because it's not nobody decides to go into retail. I mean, maybe some people do. I have never met those people. And I've had people take threats on my life working in retail, people, really horrific things. And I'm just like, you're doing this over like the cost of a cinema ticket or a CD,
Yeah.
or it's just
Unbelievable.
silly. Yeah. I always judge people on how they treat retail and hospitality staff, because they're the go-to people you should be empathetic towards.
Absolutely.
So yeah, don't clown on them. Also, like, yeah, just, and if these things happen, like things break and you can be annoyed, but you can, show your, tell them your frustrations without being rude or shouting at people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've had tech that's been broken, and I've had like my original PS Vita had dead pixels on it, and I had to send it back. My first DS had dead pixels in it, and I had to send it back. But I would never be rude to the staff that had to deal with it. And in fact,
No, it's not their fault.
Yeah, if the last 2 times I sent in my Joy-Cons to be fixed, I drew a little picture for the person that opened it, and I was like, I'm really sorry to annoy you about this being broken still, because I felt so guilty to be a hindrance. But I think some people like appreciate that more than being shouted at and things, or clowned on the internet.
Yeah, this is obviously an unfortunate situation, but not gonna lie, I like the way I looked at it was more like, oh God, we need to have these receipts attached to the box in the next 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's just do something that we know will work, because the tape isn't working. But I would say that your theory of this was someone in like upper management at the store just being like, no, just get it done. Like, I would say that it is an equally plausible explanation.
Yeah, I've been there so many times. I just instantly like could see it in my mind. I was like, it might not be. It might just been a simple mistake. But either way,
Yeah.
people don't deserve it. You can look at it and laugh, especially as long as everybody got replacements and nobody was out of money. But even then, that doesn't mean that someone deserves harassment.
No.
But I can understand.
This is just an honest mistake. Everybody makes mistakes.
God,
We're human.
Made many in retail. Let's just say I was really bad at making latte art, and they always end up. In hospitality as well. And my lattes always ended up looking peculiar. But yeah, mistakes are easily made. It's all good.
Yeah. All right, our next story is, hey, Pokemon fans are going to be eating pretty good in the next couple of months. Pokemon Nintendo rather, just randomly sort of announced on social media 2 very important dates. The first one is July 22nd, which is the next Pokemon Presents. It's nice to get an actual like announcement for one of these streams more than 24 hours in advance.
Yeah.
Though I will say, I think the Pokemon Presents are pretty good about this. It's just generally the Nintendo Directs or like the Indie World showcases that don't get a lot of lead up to them. Mm-hmm. And the second is October 16th, which is the release date for Pokemon Legends ZA. Why they didn't announce the release date at the Presents is a strange thing to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's in, like, a little over a month. And then the actual release date is in October. Like, that's plenty of time.
Also, like, even the website, well, at least in Nintendo UK, instead of having, like, a splash page about the game, it's, like, an ad for pre-order bonuses. And then it's, like, send us your email to express your interest in buying the game. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Do they expect it to availability to be really low? I just thought that was a bit bizarre.
Yeah, and respectfully, I would hazard a guess and say that the interest in a new Pokemon game is always going to be very high.
Yeah, that's kind of a really silly question, isn't it? It's like,
yeah,
are you interested in the new game from the highest, most profitable IP in the history of the universe? Yes.
Yeah. Gotta get those numbers up. That's capitalism, baby.
Yeah.
We need more data. We need to only look at the numbers and not how people feel. That's definitely a good thing to do.
Although, to be fair, they totally got me because I really want that pre-order bonus statue, and I didn't even really want to pre-order the game before.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I like that toy. Uh-oh.
That is, in fact, how they get you.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
The only other thing that they did confirm is that ZA will release simultaneously for both Switch systems.
Yay.
Not gonna lie, that honestly, I think that's something we already knew, right? Like when ZA was first announced, that was the first time they said like the Switch family of systems.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that specific wording. Maybe we didn't know simultaneously yet, but I should have gone back and checked this. But I don't think that this is like super news to us.
No, also, I can't remember if it's on the upgrade page or the upgrade pack page, but Pokemon ZA is listed as like, there will also be a Switch 2 edition like that you can upgrade to, and that's been there for a while. Like before they announced this, so yeah, it might just be the simultaneous bit. I think you're right.
Yeah. So stay tuned for our episode after July 22nd, where we'll no doubt be covering that Pokemon Presents. And with our luck, some other random direct that they decided to announce 12 hours before it starts.
Yeah, probably Donkey Kong one or something. What?
I think Donkey Kong's already going to be out by then. It's like beginning of July, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking of the Switch 2 version of Jamboree is like the 24th, I think, of July.
Yeah, the Kirby one is also in July, I think. Like Kirby
So there probably is going to be a direct.
Oh, great. Yeah. Another double direct special, baby.
Yeah.
My favorite episodes to edit. Alrighty, our next one. Ooh, this was a real bummer that you sent me. Voice actress Samantha Kelly posted to Instagram that she did not reprise her roles as Princess Peach and Toad for Mario Kart World. In a vacuum, not like the most strange thing to recast her, because like they recast Charles Martinet, so like all bets are off. Nobody's job is safe anymore, which, to be very clear, sucks.
Yes.
Don't like that. The reason that this is so baffling is she didn't find out about this until Mario Kart World's release day.
Yeah, I hate that so much.
Like, you'd think that Nintendo would at least send like some amount of communication of like, hey, you know, we know you voiced these characters for, let me check my notes. Oh, 18 years, you say.
Oh my God.
But yeah, we're gonna go with someone else this time.
My only like theory is that they would have to do that via an NDA, right? Because someone could be like, oh, they're recording a new game, and then they could leak it everywhere. But then companies do that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have taken much effort to do that. It's just kind of common courtesy at this point. It's not exclusive to Nintendo. There's other companies that do it, because I think the Persona 4 voice cast, like,
Oh yeah.
didn't get asked to re-record, and there's a new one, remake of 4 on the way. So it's like, oh, I guess they've got new people now, and it's like, oh, bummer.
Yeah.
So it's not exclusive to Nintendo, but I just feel like letting people know in advance, especially voice actors who need to book things. I feel like it would be quite handy, and it's just rude kind of behavior not doing it.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. Like, voice acting, I've never done it. Aside, I guess, now you can't call this voice acting. This is just podcasting. But like, voice acting is one of those professions where, as I understand it, nobody, with like the exception of like the 3 famous voice actors, maybe, nobody is making as much money as you think they are.
Oh no, definitely not.
Yeah.
Like,
And so like even very famous voice actors, their financial situation is a lot more precarious than a lot of people probably think it is.
yeah, I mean, uh, a lot of they probably make most of their money through doing like convention guesting and stuff rather than the actual
Yeah.
jobs. And even like some of the biggest ones, I've seen them post that they don't qualify for like health insurance if they're based in the US, and I'm like, that's really depressing.
Yeah.
Grim.
Although some good news that I saw literally like either yesterday or today, SAG-AFTRA, like the voice actors part of SAG-AFTRA, has come to a tentative agreement
Yeah.
for like AI protections, or sorry, anti-AI protections in their voice acting roles.
Yeah.
Good news. Love to see it. Well done to everyone who has who has not crossed the picket line on this, because this has been in the works for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Although now you've got me thinking, what if that has something to do with them being recast?
It's possible.
Because,
Now that you mention it.
yeah, speculation.
Speculation. Yeah. For legal reasons, pure speculation. Although I will say, to go along with that, the part two of this story is I was looking at the IGN article covering this, and they pointed out that Takashi Nagasako, a Japanese voice actor who has voiced Donkey Kong for 21 years, since 2004's Mario Power Tennis, is also missing from the credits of Mario Kart World. They did see Koji Takeda, who voiced Donkey Kong in the Japanese dub of the movie. Weirdly enough, I hit credits on Mario Kart World earlier today, so I still have this freshly in my memory. They don't say who voiced who in the credits. It's just a list of names. Yeah. Not who they voiced. Don't know why they would do that. Kind of weird.
I hit the
bad
credit.
if you're invested in IMDb like I am.
IMDb is mostly you have to do it yourself. Did you know that? Like some studios can like submit your names, but mostly it's the actors editing them. But yeah, I didn't see that in the credits, but I probably skipped them. I had a feeling that something that might happen because they change. The model is more aesthetically looks like the movie model.
Yeah.
But, and like they obviously can't hire like Chris Pratt to do the games because that would be like extortionate money wise. But yeah, they're probably trying to keep like a kind of a uniform universe of some sorts.
Yeah.
For like the kiddos. But as a kid, I would notice when voice actors would change, and it would really annoy me.
Yeah.
And like recognizing the same ones as well. I was literally watching the 80s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon, as I sometimes do. And one of the reasons I loved it as a kid is because it had Cam Clark in it, who was also in the original Akira dub. And I watched Akira when I was 5 to 4 years old, which is, do not recommend. Don't do that to your own children. But it's why I loved him, because I was like, oh, he's in Akira. And kids recognize these things. And I did recognize Peach sounding not like the original voice actress when I first popped on World, which was sad. Yeah, it's just sad.
My story, similar to your Akira one, is I watched Princess Mononoke when I was like 8.
That's not... I guess it's got some gory bits in it, doesn't it?
It's got some gory bits in it, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the parts I remember the best. Because I was 8.
I just watched anything, which probably explains a lot.
I also watched like Kill Bill around that time.
Well, it came out in 2001?
Maybe it was on DVD, so it wasn't in the theaters.
That's fine. It's not.
Just like... It's also just a very gory movie, if memory serves. I haven't seen it in a very long time.
I anger people sometimes because I'm of the. It's not that I don't believe in age ratings. I just think that each person is different.
Yeah.
So when I have mini me, I'm going to be like, I have seen this, or I will watch this, or I will play this. And then I will say, do I think you're mature enough? And then if they are, even if they are young, I'll still let them watch and experience it. That's what my mum did with me. So, because I got Vice City the day it came out, and my mum beforehand sat me down and taught me about how to respect sex workers. And when did Vice City come out? 2000? I was about 10, 11 or something. Maybe a little older. And I was like, do you know what? That's cool. I'm going to do that too.
The only times I've ever been asked, like age ratings have ever been enforced with video games for me,
Yeah.
was one time I was in the airport flying back to Asia where I was living at the time, and I really wanted to buy a copy of Halo 3. And I'm going to say 16, and that game is rated 18 plus, at least here in the Netherlands. And so they were like, do you have ID? And I was like, yes. So I showed them my ID, and they're like, sorry, you can't buy it. You're too young. And I'm like, my guy, I have finished Halo 2 so many times.
I know, it's so annoying. But, well, yeah. Because I was talking about like retail from earlier, I was working in a very famous UK music and game retailer. Let's leave it at that. And GTA 5 had recently come out.
Yeah.
And a lot of children come up to the till and want to buy it. And again, I would not care if I was their parent and I knew what they were like and assess their maturity. But legally, you could get jail time and like a $5,000 fine. And I'm like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And that's why people do it, because nobody wants a fine over a game or a drink or whatever. But yeah, it is annoying.
I definitely didn't understand that at the time. Like in retrospect, I don't blame the worker in the store, but at the time I was like, come on, man, just be cool. You know?
I'm quite tall, so I never got ID'd for things, and then now I'm old, I want to get ID'd.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like 5'9", so people, and I have been since like I was like 12, 13. So people just assumed I was old. So I didn't get ID'd for stuff, and now I wish I did, because I am actually old.
The only other time I remember this very vividly as well. It was 2012. I was 18, and I went to a game store and tried to buy a second-hand copy of God of War on PS2, the first one. And the guy looked at me and was like, okay, do you have ID? And I was like, oh no. I moved back to the Netherlands from Asia like 3 months ago. My only like form of actual ID is my passport currently, and no, I don't bring that with me on day-to-day shopping trips.
Yeah.
And eventually I talked him into like, here, I have my like health insurance card. That has my birth date on it. It doesn't have my photo, so it's not technically a legal form of ID, but it is my health insurance card. That's got to count for something. And thankfully in that case it did.
Oh. Yeah, and they're like really strict with it now, but back in the day you could be like, I've got this. We had like young Scot cards and like things you could get if you couldn't afford a passport. But I literally do take my passport with me, even though I don't get ID. Because I get paranoid. And if I lose it, that would be bad, but oh well.
Yeah. I don't know, like, do you have just like a normal ID card you can get from the government or the municipality or whatever?
No, you can get a provisional driver's license even if you don't want to drive, and that's like the cheapest one to do.
Okay.
That's legally binding. But other than that, it is your passport. Unless there's a new thing that's come out and I'm not hip with the kids anymore and I don't know. But it was always either your provisional or your passport. And my friend lost my provisional when we were drinking like many years ago. So you can renew it. I just never did. So I was like, I'll just use my passport. But again, I cannot remember the last time someone ID'd me for anything. So if I don't have makeup on, sometimes I get a look. In fact, yeah, it was a few years ago and I bought booze and I got ID'd and the guy went, "Oh, sorry, you just look really young." And I was like, "Oh, I like you." And then he was laughing. But that does not happen anymore.
Alrighty, now on to sort of let's call it the main event of the episode. What we've been playing.
I wonder.
And what we have been playing, both of us, is stuff on the Switch 2.
Yay!
Specifically, I've mostly been playing Mario Kart. I don't know if you've been doing much else.
No, I only have Mario, like, Switch 2 specific games. Mario Kart World is the only one I have.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of NSO stuff.
Yeah.
None of the GameCube games yet. Like, I upgraded my NSO subscription to the expansion pass.
Yay.
The same day I got my Switch 2, so I tried out some, like, N64 games.
Ah.
I've mostly just played the mini games on Pokemon Stadium.
Ah, the best.
And a few levels of Kirby and the Crystal Shards.
Ah, yeah. And now you can get the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom upgrades, because that's included.
I could if I owned those games. That is certainly true.
Oh. Yeah, that would help. Because that is what I want to look at next, because I never finished Tears of the Kingdom, and I was like, well, perfect timing.
I've read some reviews. They are apparently really quality upgrades.
Yeah.
Although the Zelda Notes feature that's been added to like the Nintendo, one of the apps, I think just the Nintendo Switch app, is apparently very annoying and never shuts up.
Yeah, I kind of assumed that would be the case. I did try one of the GameCube games actually. Well, I put on Wind Waker for a bit, but I didn't want to play it too much because I knew that I would get kind of
sucked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did play Soul Calibur 2 because it's one of my favorite games of all time. Not the GameCube one specifically. I like the Xbox one, but it's the same thing.
With Spawn as the guest character. Yeah.
I did, as a kid, never read a Spawn comic ever, but I just thought he was so cool.
Did you ever watch the movie? There's a Spawn movie from I want to say like 2002.
That sure is a movie.
Yeah. One of the movies of all time.
Yeah.
But first, let's just talk about the Switch 2 as a console. Because I only really have the like launch Switch 1 to compare it to. Like, I never got the OLED version. I never got the battery upgraded version. I never got a Switch Lite. So keep that in mind when I'm giving all these stats, I guess. Number one, big fan of the build quality. It feels great. It's obviously a little heavier, but everything feels solid. The like magnetic attachment for the Joy-Cons is like, I was not prepared for how like strong that would be.
Yeah. Did you like from muscle memory, did you keep accidentally trying to like do it the old fashioned way?
No.
Oh, I kept like trying to like push it in and I was like, huh.
I very rarely detached my original Joy-Cons. Like, I got a Pro controller very quickly, and so my Joy-Cons were just attached to my Switch for most of their life cycle. I'm using the past tense, and I don't know why. I used my original Joy-Cons literally yesterday to play Ring Fit Adventure. And that's like the main way that they get detached. But so far on the Switch 2, I think I've detached them maybe once.
Oh, okay.
Like, I've played mostly in docked mode, a little bit in handheld mode, but I haven't fiddled with the Joy-Cons very much beyond that.
You didn't try the mouse controls?
No, not yet. I haven't really found a game that I own where it would make sense to use them.
Oh yeah, I just literally used them on the menu, and I was like, oh cool. Anyway,
Ah, yeah.
it does feel like surprisingly intuitive. I was kind of like, I don't know why in my mind I thought it would be quite clunky, but like using it even on your leg, it's like, oh, this is kind of neat actually. I'm really hoping this means like Wii NSO library.
DS and 3DS, as we've mentioned previously.
Yeah, but no, it does feel good. But yeah, again, I don't actually have a game to try them out, which is a bit of a bummer. And I don't know if they maybe should have thought of that. But well, I guess there is like one of the Sid thingy Civilization games that is a launch title, but maybe they should have.
And there's that wheelchair basketball game that's coming out like pretty soon.
Oh yeah. I feel like a cute Nintendo IP thing would have been like, you know how you had the idea of like a tactical game that was like Smash Bros and kind of had lots of IPs in it. I feel like some of that would have been a good launch idea. But yeah, they're just neat to like, oh, this is how you use it. Okay.
How the sticks on the Joy-Cons will go in the long run still remains to be seen, obviously. We've previously talked about that Nintendo has, I think the wording they used was rebuilt them from the ground up to hopefully mitigate the drift issue. I did read some articles like 2 days after launch that people were already taking their Joy-Cons apart to see what was in them, and it was mostly the same, visually at least.
One of my co-workers who specializes in controllers, he speculated that the reason they didn't have Hall effect sticks is because of the magnets.
Yeah, that's something that Sylvie brought up during the stream on Sunday, is if like the Hall effects might interfere with like the magnetic connection to the console.
Yeah, because they both involve magnetic fields. But part of me is like, I maybe would have preferred the sticks rather than the magnets. But hey ho.
Yeah. I'm going to say this multiple times during this section, but it is wild to have Nintendo games in 4K and at 60 FPS in docked mode. Obviously, like PCs and the other consoles have been able to do this and better for a while now. You know, like I'm running Monster Hunter Wilds at 120 FPS with frame generation, admittedly, but still, you know. But it's just cool to see that Nintendo, which makes the consoles that have traditionally been the least powerful ones, is getting this far this quickly after the Switch was like 1080p in docked mode at most, I think. It feels great on Mario Kart, and not gonna lie, I've been playing a little bit of Pokemon Violet. I started that one up, and it's almost kind of weird. Like, I've talked about this on Blue Sky and on the Discord server about like, I have so much muscle memory from trying to compensate for the terrible performance of the original that it's kind of messing me up that everything just works properly and smoothly now.
I've not tried it yet, but I did, when I did the system transfer, obviously all my videos and stuff carried over. So I was like, oh, I've not looked at these in a while. And I have like a video of like a classroom scene from Violet where one kid is like 1 FPS, like he's kicking his legs, and it's like, oh my god, I forgot how bad it was. And then I know exactly what scene you're talking about too. And then I've seen comparison footage from other people, and I'm like, wow, okay, I definitely need to get the DLC now.
Yeah, it's night and day. Like I'm not gonna front. Like it's still got some pretty bad like pop in. And there's still a lot of that ugly texture tiling that you can like really easily see.
Oh yeah.
But at least performance, I've played like maybe 5 hours. Like I'm working my way towards the first gym right now. Performance so far has been flawless.
Wow.
Yeah, it's strange to see. As far as the actual system goes, it does feel a little less ergonomic to hold it in handheld mode. The new Joy-Cons, like the edges on them are a little less round,
Yeah.
So there's like a little like sharp line where there's a seam that can make them a little less comfortable to hold.
The Joy-Con controller grip that's included feels lesser quality than the one that comes with the first Switch, and like the handles on it are like they stop. They're like flat on the sides, so your palms of your hand kind of just hover, and it's very uncomfortable. Not a fan. But to be honest, like the previous Joy-Cons I always felt were uncomfortable anyway, because I get pins and needles really easily.
Yeah.
And the flat backs of them, like, always... I suspect, in my age right now, I'm suspecting I have RSI in my wrist right now anyway, from not using my PC properly. But it's definitely still not comfortable. But to be honest, that's why I have the GameCube controller, because that is comfortable.
Like, the comparison that I always make is to the Steam Deck, right? Like, the Steam Deck's, like, controller bits are actually, like, ergonomically designed to be held by human hands.
Yeah, it's just too heavy.
But the trade-off you make is it's just a lot heavier of a console, so it, like, tires your arms out more to hold it.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Switch 2 is heavier than the Switch 1. Not as heavy as the Steam Deck, to my recollection.
No.
But it is heavier because it's, bigger.
I might see, I have one of those, like, stands that connects to, like, your bedside table. And I use it for my iPad, so I can watch my iPad in bed, and you can kind of, like, move it into your face. And I'm thinking I should, like, try that with the Switch too.
That'd be cool. And hey, with the USB-C cable port on top, you can also charge it while it's like that.
Yeah. True. Interesting.
Speaking of screens, I do really like the screen on the Switch 2. Obviously, it's a bummer that it's not an OLED screen, which we definitely would have liked. But as of the three like large gaming handhelds that I own, that being the Steam Deck, the Switch 1, and this one, it is the most legible screen I have so far. Because sort of the problem that I had with the other two is sometimes the text is just too small to read.
Oh. Yeah, wait, do you have the original Steam Deck?
I do have the original Steam Deck,
yeah. Yeah, it also depends, because a lot of games on Steam aren't developed with the Steam Deck in mind, so that's going to be an issue regardless, because it's just kind of transferring the game onto the Steam Deck. It's not, whereas Nintendo games have been designed specifically for a handheld, like, in mind, so that's going to be a thing anyway.
But the Steam Deck screen was also like 900p. Like, the Steam Deck outputs at like 900p or something, and so small text combined with not super high resolution, like, I couldn't really play Baldur's Gate 3 on Steam Deck, for instance. Like, it's verified, it runs properly, I just couldn't read most of the text.
Oh, I've only played Baldur's Gate 3 on the OLED Steam Deck.
But again, you have an OLED screen
it's
as
more
well.
Bright.
That is a lot
vivid.
clearer.
Yeah, I think that does go a long way. Like, because that's still, well, apart from the OLED Vita, which is like one of my favorite screens, perfecto. The OLED Steam Deck is my favorite handheld, like, display. But after that, I'm still impressed by how vivid and nice this LCD one looks on the Switch too. Like, I didn't think I was worried about it, and I'm like, oh no, they've actually done a good job.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Speakers are fine. Like, the quality is pretty good, and I really like the virtual surround sound feature. It's like it's a little spooky. Like, if you do the like virtual surround sound testing, it is very weird when it does the like quote unquote behind you speaker sounds.
Oh, so it's called spatial audio, yeah. Yeah. I usually don't use the speakers without like a headset on, because if you're not doing the Netflix and play the Switch at the same time kind of scenario.
Yeah.
I normally have a headset on.
Me too, but I figured I should test them out for the podcast.
Yeah. I'm really glad they have spatial audio, because that's kind of a modern gaming feature that you kind of want to have anyway. Really, really handy if you're doing anything competitive.
Yeah.
Like, and Fortnite's on the Switch too, so like that is like a biggie. Like like spatial audio in Fortnite is like I cannot play it without it. That would just be silly. It's really good in games like I don't know if Dead by Daylight's running on the Switch 2 yet. There might be like not every game is working straight away, but that is really good to test out spatial audio because you can like hear like the terror radius behind you, and it makes it more spooky, and it's really fun. So, and also I'm interested in because a lot of my favorite headsets have spatial audio support, so it means I can hopefully use them in the future once all their firmware updates are all sorted.
That was all of my notes on the Switch 2. Did you have anything interesting or fun to add?
I was a bit bummed. I mean, we kind of knew this anyway because it got shown online that the UI is the same.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit boring. Part of me was like, themes, please. No, it's the same.
Yeah, you have light theme and dark theme.
Yeah, maybe they will do like a OS update in the future, and they will introduce that. I would not be annoyed if it was a later thing, because like I keep forgetting that the original Switch didn't have Bluetooth audio when it launched.
Yeah, that was a later update.
Yeah, which is like it's not like it was new then. Like, it's awful. So like that was nice to see from the get-go, but also like, I'm okay with a little waiting for things. What else? I'm trying to think. I really liked the kind of some of the new system music. There was like a tune when you did like the system transfer, like when you turned it on.
Yeah, that one was fun.
Yeah, that was cool. The eShop is like, there's like a cool thing there where it recommends you games that you might like, and you see trailers and things. And I quite like that feature. It still runs a bit slow. And there's still
less slow, at least.
Yeah, and there's already AI slop on it because it's some of the same stuff on the original. Lots of questionable jigsaw games
that you play one-handed.
Yeah, no. Yes, exactly. But I do prefer it. That's for sure. Yeah, it definitely feels more like the UI does feel faster and more kind of like ever so slightly.
Yeah.
And the loading times for games is noticeably good. Like, which is like, because I forget how some of them were really notoriously bad in the original Switch, and I'm really impatient.
Yeah.
So anytime I can get right into a game, I'm all for it. To my knowledge, then I understand why it doesn't have that, but it doesn't have like the thing like the PS5 does, where you can have YouTube like still running in the background while you're playing a game. That takes up a lot of RAM. I totally get it. And to be honest,
yeah,
I'm probably not going to use that anyway. I'll just watch it on another device at the same time. But no,
the YouTube app just doesn't work on the Switch 2 right now anyway.
That's true too.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while for things to be compatible, but that's fine. I will say the GameCube controller is very nice, and I'm very, very glad I pre-ordered it in the end.
Yeah, I predicted when it was announced that thing was going to sell out immediately, and by all the things I've read, I was right.
Oh, it hasn't in the UK.
Really? Oh,
no,
I missed that.
Still in stock right now, which I was surprised at. It's very, very nice because I still have all my original GameCube controllers. I should maybe do like a side by side at some point, but it feels very, very nice, very authentic. And honestly, do you know what? I'm actually preferring to use it to play Mario Kart World docked than use the Joy-Cons. So there you go. Just feels good.
Yeah, I mean, like, the Pro Controller is not that different to the Switch 1 Pro Controller.
Yeah.
I do like that the plus and minus buttons are more raised now.
Ah.
So it's easier to find them when you're not looking at the controller.
And you've got that HD Rumble too.
Yeah, and back pedals, which I currently am not using for anything, but you can.
Yeah, and the
Like
C
I
button.
do like back paddles. I have back paddles on my Xbox, on my like 8-bit-do Xbox controller that I use for my PC. I use those for Monster Hunter like all the time. So I'm sure I'll find a situation on Switch 2 where I'll use them as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there hasn't been enough to test out everything just yet, but at the same time I'm not that annoyed because I kind of like being able to, I'm just going to play a bit of Mario Kart, then I'll go back to the PS5. Like, I don't need to be playing a brand new console every second of every day the minute it comes out. It's like,
Yeah, especially for someone with your exact job. There doesn't need to be 25 new things about the Switch every week in the first 3 months after its launch.
yeah, yeah. 'Cause I actually joked with my boss that, like, when we finished on Friday, someone was like, "Oh, you're gonna play lots of Mario Kart," and we're both like, not because you don't want to, but like, when it is part of your job, your brain's just like, I want to do anything that's not associated with Nintendo in any way.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I had to test things at the weekend anyway, so I couldn't escape. But it's a positive thing not to escape from because I'm grateful for what I do. But yes, the only thing I will say before we get into like more Mario Karty things, I did see a lot of people like say, "Oh, it's like the Switch Pro. It's the Switch Pro," and it's like, and we've kind of like known that it's not gonna be a huge step up, like a drastic difference for a long time.
Yeah.
And like, we're at that stage, we're at that weird place in modern gaming where I feel like technology is so advanced that the differences between like generations is not going to be as they were when we were younger. And that's okay. I'd rather polished and well thought out upgrades over something like drastically different that just doesn't work. And the fact, a lot of things, older games run better. So there's a lot of, your games aren't going to be sitting dusty on a shelf now. You can replay a lot of things. And yeah, I don't feel like it being a smaller iteration and of its predecessor is a bad thing. I see that as a good thing.
Yeah. Like, there is precedent with Nintendo, like, trying something new and wacky with every console generation,
Yeah.
And so, like, I understand the disappointment a little bit, but on the other hand, like, we've talked about this on the podcast before, it's financially speaking probably a wise decision to play it a little bit safer, because they are coming off of like the Wii U, which was not a big success for them, and I can understand them being a little hesitant to like break the formula too much, because the Switch 1 is like the second or third most successful video game console of all time.
Yeah.
After like the PS2 and the Wii.
And it's just like, it's such a good idea. Like, I was saying this to my mum because she came over and she was like, "Oh, you've got the Switch." And it's now a running joke. And then like my mum has a group of friends that are from the neighborhood, like in Glasgow where we all live. And they do the pub quiz together. And when she went in last week, they were literally like, "Oh, does Rose have the Switch too?" And mum was like, "Yes, she does." Like,
yeah,
Glasgow knows. But where was I going with this? Yeah, like the original Switch was such a cool. It was such a genius idea to have a console that you could also turn it into the handheld, combine Nintendo's two greatest things into one. That if you told me when I was little that existed, like my SNES could be a Game Boy at the same time, I guess it technically could because you had the Super Game Boy, but let's pretend that that's different. It would have blown my tiny little mind, and it's such a good invention that you don't want to change it too much because it just makes sense.
And also, like, I'm no expert, so take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt. But I would argue that in terms of like hardware power level, the difference between the Switch 1 and the Switch 2 is way bigger than the difference between like the PS5 and the PS5 Pro, right? I would argue that this is definitely a better, just significantly better console, and not just like, ooh, we've updated it a little bit so that you can have ray tracing in Spider-Man now.
Yeah, the PS5 Pro is noticeable. Is a change, but you need to have like you need to be sitting quite close to your gaming monitor to make the most of it. Also, they doubled up the storage and stuff as well. It's got like 2 terabytes of onboard storage. So there is more to it. But yeah, in terms of like the difference, yeah, because there was that in a video that released like just before launch, where the CEO in a video was like, "Oh yeah, it's got ray tracing and DLSS, even though we already knew this." So yeah, it's really cool that is a thing, because that did not know that would not have worked in the original Switch. It would have exploded probably.
Yeah.
And it's also cool because like I wonder if having these kind of technologies will get people into that a little more, because I've only had to learn about ray tracing and frame generation and things from work environments. But I've had friends who are like, I don't care about graphics and frame rates and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, the Switch 2 has ray tracing? And I'm like, got you.
Yeah. Gone are the days of blast processing.
Yes.
Where companies could just say things.
Yeah. So I'm kind of, I do think there is a subset of people that don't necessarily, especially if you don't have the money for it, of course, need to buy a Switch 2.
Yeah. Like, I'm honestly like, I bought one on launch day, A, because I was very excited, and B, I wanted to cover it for the podcast. But I was talking to like my friends about it, who are like not nearly as big into games as I am, and I would like, some of them do own Switches, and I was like, honestly, if I were you, I'd probably just wait.
Yeah.
Like, wait until there's a game that you really, really want to play, and then maybe think about picking it up. Like, I've got one friend who's like the biggest fan of Pokemon I know, and is not going to buy a Switch 2 until they need to play a Pokemon game.
Totally valid. And makes a lot of sense, because they are like expensive. Yeah. But at the same time, I also think that if you are somebody that needs to play brand new Nintendo games as soon as possible, that it is a worthwhile investment. But I'm also somebody that bought an OLED Switch. So
yeah.
But the only thing that's changed for me in particular, and I don't know if you're also in this boat, although you play a lot of PC stuff, so maybe it's a bit different. But this time around, I'm probably not going to play many like non-Nintendo games on the Switch 2, unless I already own them on my like account, because if I was to get say like Deltarune came out, the 2 new chapters of Deltarune. I could have got it for the Switch 2 and been like, oh, I got a new Switch 2 game. But I either prefer to get trophies or achievements. So that kind of means that I'd rather get the PS5 version or the Steam version. I ended up going with the PS5 because that's where my trophy count is nicest, and I like adding to it. And then I've got the PlayStation Portal, so I can play it handheld, and also you can, if you've got a Steam Deck, you can do remote play and things. So like, I feel like I probably will keep this as a Nintendo machine. But you know what? Everybody uses handhelds and consoles in their own way for their own reasons. So that's all good. That doesn't annoy me because I love Nintendo games. So
yeah. For me, like you said, I do play a lot of games on my PC, and I have a very powerful PC that can play a lot of games.
Yeah.
And so like, especially for the big releases, like I'm not going to be buying the Switch 2 version when I could buy it on Steam.
Yeah.
But especially for smaller indie games where it's like, or really long games like RPGs, like turn-based RPGs. I like the idea of being able to take them with me traveling. And I like the idea of doing that with the Switch 2 a lot more than I like doing that with my Steam Deck.
Huh.
And also, my couch is more comfortable than my office chair. So being able to sit on the couch and play it, like on my big TV, instead of on my office chair in front of my desk with my monitors, It's really a case by case basis.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I don't play my PC. That's because
Yeah.
it's just not comfortable until I do up this office. Also, I forgot to add that, like, if I get stuff in Steam, my father-in-law and my fiance are both, like, in our little Steam family. So anything
Yeah.
I buy, they get to play, and I like that.
Yeah.
And then, like, what usually is, it's like indies. For me, it's like indies and stuff like Animal Crossing adjacent things like Dreamlight Valley will be on Steam Deck. AAA stuff will be on the PS5. And Nintendo stuff on the Switch tuner. And then obviously I have like silly emulator devices for older stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but I'm not annoyed at that because it's not like I'm going to not get value out of it. I just pre-ordered Donkey Kong Bonanza today, actually. And I'm very excited. Because I have a feeling it's going to be one of my favorite Nintendo games because it looks like the Odyssey of the Switch 2 already, so I'm hype.
Yeah, as am I. But before we get to Donkey Kong, there's still so much Mario Kart to explore.
Yay!
At the top of this segment, I want to give a shout out to Unfocused host Scott and former Unfocused co-host Sylvie. We had a great time live streaming Mario Kart World last week Sunday. If you like that kind of thing, we're streaming again this week Sunday at 9 a.m. GMT, twitch.tv/GamePodular. That's most of the tech stuff I've been working on in the past like week or so is just getting like OBS set up. I will also say, if you did watch the stream, hey, thanks. It was great. I hope you had a good time too. The stream layout has been altered just a little bit. Chat like looks a little better now. We're still fine-tuning a couple of things, but it's a work in progress, but we're having a great time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope to see you again on the old Twitch.
I might have been asleep.
It was a Sunday.
Yeah, day of rest. Even though I'm an atheist, I decided. No, I will try. Maybe if I've got like a long weekend or a holiday coming up, maybe. I hope.
Yeah, we'll look for something in the old schedule.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I played most of my Mario Kart playing. I did on that stream. I have played a bunch since then as well. But I would highly recommend going back and watching the VOD because I did like you get to see my reactions discovering a lot of things for the first time.
Oh.
Like I had before that stream, I had played the first Grand Prix in 50cc. That was it. I had never done Knockout Tour. I had never done Battle Mode. I hadn't seen most of the tracks. I have done everything in 50cc and about half of them in 100 by now. Like, I've been playing. It's great. I had a great time. I continue to have a great time. The number one thing that you want in a kart racer is that it feels very responsive, and boy, does it.
Yeah.
With one exception, in my opinion.
Oh.
So there's the new jump feature, right? Like you hold down right trigger or bumper as if you were drifting.
Oh, yeah.
But A, the jump takes longer to charge up than I'd like. And B, it's very sensitive about like, if you're moving the left stick even slightly, it'll think you're drifting instead of jumping. And so I've often just like slammed into walls thinking, ooh, I'm going to grind up on this rail. But then I start drifting instead. Yeah.
I like never use it. Which, I don't know what that says.
There was one like very cool thing. There's one track, I forget what it's called, but it has like the massive like Golden Gate Bridge style bridge. Mm-hmm. Where I was like, ooh, I'm going to grind on the side of that. There's a bunch of coins up there. And wow, that cost me like 8 places. Like it slowed me down so much.
Yeah,
I think that's something you're mostly that specific one is something you're supposed to do in free roam mode, not so much in the old Grand Prix themselves.
Yeah. taking risks can be dangerous.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Grand Prix? I'm sort of mixed on them.
I like them. I don't think the kind of the in between bits work.
That is indeed the thing I'm mixed on. Yeah.
Yeah, it just like in terms of it felt good in terms of local co-op actually, because it kind of meant there was less time between the action, if you will.
Yeah.
But when you're doing like single player, I felt like it just felt a bit. I don't know how to put it. Like, it just didn't feel like it flowed well or that it made sense. And it does make them drag a bit if you're not playing with people.
Yeah. I do like, because it's a big open world, I do like those sort of moments where you're driving to the next track and it very clearly transitions from like one zone to the next.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But I think I said this when they announced this at the Direct, like, I think you're just much better off just putting a loading screen in there. Like, the Switch 2 is powerful enough that load time isn't very long.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And honestly, like, the free roaming stuff is fun. There's a lot more in the world than I think there is. Like, I've seen other people talking about like how like they found like over 200 of those P block things with the little challenges in the overworld.
Yep.
I found like 7, you know? Like so there's more to do than it looks on first blush, but I don't know if it was really like right now it doesn't really feel like it was worth all that much effort. I'd much rather just have like classic 3-lap races, because it is also weird structurally how like you do the first race in the GP, you do the classic 3 laps.
Yeah.
And then and then the rest of it, you're like doing the long drive to the track and then 1 lap on that track and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's worse for practicing. Like, I guess that's what, time trials and versus mode and stuff are for. But I don't know. It just feels it's a weird variation on the formula that I don't think is like 100% successful.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan.
It's a bit jarring. I do really like the free roam mode though, because even if it's not empty, it's not like empty. It's not Breath of the Wild levels of empty, right?
Shots fired.
But I like that it gives you like a little playground to muck about in, to like try out some stuff without the fear. I really like the little, because the thing that annoys me about some Mario games is that sometimes they're very like, like the Mario and Luigi series, they added so much extra lore and characterization, and then some Mario games it's just like, nope, we're not allowed to have any of that, we're stripping it, and the world feels a bit empty. So the fact
it's
that
just, it's another one.
Yeah, so the fact there's like the little fast food Yoshi staff and the little things, and like you come across like Toads and Yoshi's having a little campfire, and I'm like, yes, world building, give it to me. Environmental storytelling, I love it. And a part of me is like hoping that that's what we're going to see more of this generation when it comes to like Mario like IP games and things, especially because of the movies. Like maybe there will be more elements to that, so I'm like, I like that. I did see people being like, oh, wish you could walk around, and I'm like, no, because then they would have to have developed area for that. That wouldn't have worked.
Tony Hawk's Underground, this is not.
Yes, I think it would have been a bit silly. I've not tried out online with people yet. I feel like that, because you can't do local co-op on the free roaming, which I've heard is a bummer for people that have kids. But I don't know what that's like myself, but that is a shame. But I also feel like the free roaming is also a good, like if I was Kid Me had the original Mario Kart and the SNES and then the N64 one. I feel like I would have loved a free roaming mode, especially because my favorite thing to do in any Mario Kart game was Mario Kart 64 when you do Peach's circuit, and there was like an Easter egg where you could drive right up to Peach's castle for no
Oh,
reason at all.
nice.
And that was my favorite thing to do. And then me and my friends would sometimes like do it, but like play pretend and just like be like, "Hi, Peach!"
Yeah.
So the free roam mode feels like a modern iteration of that, and I really like it. And maybe it feels like there should be extra stuff in there. I don't know what they would do, but it's very chill, especially because like there's a lot of smooth jazz in the OST, and like having that on and just like driving around. Maybe wish they had an option to turn down the volume of the engines because it's a bit overbearing, or turn it off entirely. Maybe add a jukebox mode in there, feature update. That would be nice. But it is quite cathartic, just kind of driving around.
I want to shout out the soundtrack especially. It's so good.
So good.
I'm a big fan of brass instruments, and there's so much brass in this soundtrack. It's like big band mostly, right? Is the genre?
Yeah.
There's like I've talked about it on this podcast before. I'm a third wave ska guy. So, I love me some trumpets and trombones. And there's some tracks in here like the Moo Farm one, I think, is very like, it's super bouncy and oh my god. I have the menu theme stuck in my head as we're recording this.
If they
with like the harmonicas and stuff. Oh.
If they ever do like a vinyl release, I'm so buying it. Even if it costs like more than the Switch 2, I won't buy it. I need it in my life. And it's so cool because it's lots of like lovely renditions of like not just Mario Kart songs, but like Mario like tracks in different games. Because I heard lots of like Yoshi's Story stuff in there, and I'm like, oh, I love Yoshi's Story.
I heard the like Jump Up Superstar from Mario Odyssey, obviously the one without lyrics, but that one, and there's so many little motifs from all over the franchise that show up, but they still have like a unified audio aesthetic, for lack of a better phrase, and it all works. Yeah. It all sounds amazing.
Like, was there ever a Nintendo Jazz soundtrack? I feel like I have a 3D World CD from Club Nintendo, and they're playing jazz instruments, but I can't remember if it is jazz versions of Mario tracks or they just happen to have a double bass on the cover. But like, they need to release it physically, at least on the Nintendo music app, like now. Yeah, because it's so good. Love it. I also really like the kind of sticker mechanic thing, collectibles, I guess.
I didn't realize like that, those little awards you get for, you've driven 50 kilometers or you've glided like 20 kilometers.
Yeah.
I didn't realize until like an hour into the stream thereabouts that you get stickers for all of those awards.
Yeah. Oh, no.
So I was just like driving around with the first default sticker for a while. And you get stickers from the question mark block like panels in the overworld as well.
I have the Rainbow Road sticker because it's cool.
Oh my god. I want to shout out Rainbow Road in this game.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
It's like an experience. Oh my god. Because I didn't realize I unlocked it, and there's like a little cutscene that plays, and then I was playing with my partner, and I was like, "Hold my hand, we're gonna play Rainbow Road," and it actually was like, I think it might be my favorite Rainbow Road, like out of all of them.
It's up there for me. I'd seriously have to think about it because like 64 has a baller Rainbow Road. That one's really good.
Yeah. I think I like that one more for nostalgia.
The one in 7 as well. 7 has a really good Rainbow Road.
The Wii one is probably the other really good, because that's the one where you're like on the moon at one point, I think. But no, I really liked it in this one. I still haven't unlocked the mirror GP just because I haven't played enough to collect things. You have to collect a lot of things.
Yeah, I didn't even like. It wasn't until earlier today that Sylvie posted about it in the Discord that I knew it was a thing. Like, I know it's been a thing in previous games. I didn't know if they were bringing it back for this one.
But that's good. I'm liking the unlockable stuff and like how.
Yeah, there's a nice sense of discovery in this game.
I don't like how multiple outfits for one character count as a different character. Like the character select screen is messy. So messy. It should be pick Luigi, pick his outfit, pick his cart, then go. No.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta find Luigi in his little gondola outfit. Where is it?
At least you can, if you press X to sort, the one after the default has here's all of the Marios next to each other, and then all of the Luigis next to each other.
Yeah,
that's the one I always go to.
Maybe I'll need to change it to that.
But you do have to switch it back every time. Is the
no.
Thing. Yeah, it defaults back to the default, I suppose. Whenever you have to select a character again.
Yeah, but yeah, it's still nice to unlock things because that's it's more it makes you play it more incentive, and it's just nice little rewards after you do things. I am a fan.
I also spent the first while playing that game not actually unlocking any outfits because I immediately started playing as Hammer Bro because I thought it would be funny. And Hammer Bro does not have any alternative outfits. And I had forgotten that you have to have the correct combination of this character and this specific food to get that outfit for that character, because not every character that gets outfits gets every outfit.
Yeah.
I know there's alternate outfits for Donkey Kong. I've seen the silhouette in the character select screen. I haven't found any of them yet.
It's part of the fun.
Yeah.
I do love. Yeah, it's just really cute, and you get a little boost from the food and the
yeah, it
races
incentivizes you to grab them during the race as well.
Yeah, that was very clever. It's just the only thing. So we played Rainbow Road we played the GP that's on, and some of the bits of the course where you're in the air, but it's obviously you don't get to control it. There's a bit where you go around through the little star rings. I got hit with a blue shell before that sequence.
Yeah.
And the game put me forward. Instead of back. My partner was second and they were raging. Because it literally I came first. So I don't know if that's a mistake. Doesn't seem like that should have happened. I have a clip of it. Maybe I'll post it in the Discord. But I mean, I was going to come first anyway because I came first in all of them. But
yeah,
there was a lot of no and usual Mario Kart fun, the shoutings. But yeah, I thought that was a bit weird. But otherwise, it's very polished.
Yeah, I want to. I know I said this before, but it's so wild to have this game in 4K at 60 FPS. It just I saw some people on Blue Sky talking about this earlier today, and I definitely agree that there's so many little animations that just give everything so much more character and flavor and flair that you can really notice because it's in 4K and at 60 FPS. They're subtle, but they get to show off with them at the same time. That's very cool.
Yeah, because there's there'll be some maps where there's characters chucking stuff from the sides, and there's cars coming towards you, and all these things happening, and I'm I'm liking all these little details and things that are going to make me lose the race.
Yeah. Speaking of losing the race, those of you who watched the stream, I said I'd mention this earlier in the episode, and I did. I won a decent amount of the time, but former and Focus co-host Sylvie, absolutely wiped the floor with both Scott and I on multiple occasions. There's a really great video she posted to her Blue Sky of her just absolutely dumpstering us in a corner while taking a turn with the horn. We both just got completely shreked. I shared it on the I reposted it, I suppose, on the Game Popular Blue Sky as well. Check it out. It's very funny. She's so good at this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play any online things with Sylvie because she would just kick my butt. Like that in Splatoon would just be a very silly idea. But like,
I'm pretty good at battle mode. I did very well in the battle mode games we played. But
in amongst any friend group I've ever had, I am unbeatable at any Mario Kart. It's the only thing I don't suck at. But I wouldn't. But then those people aren't necessarily people that are obsessed with Nintendo games. So like,
yeah,
I you know, I'm good in a small group of people.
you're a big fish in a small pond.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
Like the worst feeling when being like the most video game person in a friend group is like, hey, I have this game we can all play. I played it for 20 hours to unlock all of the characters. You are playing this for the first time, and so you will never win.
Yeah, that's why I don't play fighting games with my friends, because some of them like do tournaments in their free time, and I'm like, well, I'm just always going to lose. So what's the point? And I don't think I'm competitive, but I genuinely, I'm quick to anger if I lose in things, like repeatedly. So, you know, sometimes there's just no point in trying.
Yeah.
I've also, like, with Mario Kart games, I always like to play solo a ton, so I know, like, I can anticipate every bend and everything that's coming.
Yeah.
So that helps, and I've played every GP apart from the mirrored ones, obviously, but not to the standard that I would normally, but that will, you know, it's not even been a week, so.
No, yeah.
Soon.
Yeah, in general, I think like Mario Kart World is sort of an ideal launch title.
Yeah.
And I anticipate that similarly to 8, it's going to be getting a lot of support for a long time.
Well, I hope so, yeah.
Be it through free content updates or DLC or both. But it's a really good showcase for some of the cool things the system can do on like a hardware power level. It doesn't like do the annoying launch title thing where it uses all of the gimmicks.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Like if it had like mandatory mouse controls, I would not have been happy.
No. Oh, before I forget, there was a really cool moment on launch day where, you know how some of the missions on free roam are like, play this classic stage and get to the end or whatever. It was one of them, and it was Koopa Beach. And for whatever reason, I got really teary.
Oh.
And I was like, because I just had this kind of like Ratatouille moment of going into my childhood of like playing Koopa Beach on the SNES. And it was like to see it in like really beautiful like graphics and hear the music, but know that, hey, I'm an adult now. And this is the first console that I ever pre-ordered and could afford to on my own. It was like a weird emotional moment. And I'm like, this is really nerdy. But like at the same time, it was kind of nice. Those are my favorite P-Switch missions. 100%. So I do hope we see lots of DLC like we did with 8 Deluxe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And if Nintendo aren't cowards, they'll bring Baby Park into this game.
Yes. Do it.
Give me Baby Park with 24 players.
Oh.
This can't possibly go wrong.
And put Double Dash on the GameCube library too. For some extra Mario Kart.
Yeah, I'm having a great time. Looking forward to playing more. unless you have anything to add,
No.
we're going to go talk about what we are going to be playing in the near future. Honestly, I'm probably just going to be playing more Mario Kart and also poking around in NSO some more. I don't want to make any promises, but I have been telling people I'm going to start playing Wind Waker soon because, as previously established, I've never played it. So I'm sort of picking a spot where I'm like not super busy in my life to really just absorb myself into it.
Yes. I for one would be happy with a Wind Waker episode.
Yeah, I'm super jazzed to play it. I just need to I need to be in the right mood for it, I think.
Yeah.
And I need things to quiet down. I will say, complained in previous episodes, like March to like halfway through March to like halfway through May is like super busy in my family. We're in June now, that has quieted down, but I'm still busy with a lot of other things at the moment as well. So things need to just sort of chillax for a bit, and then I'm going to play Wind Waker, and then we're going to talk about it on the podcast.
Yay.
How about you, Rosalie? What's your plan?
Probably more Mario Kart. I'm trying really hard not to start Wind Waker for the 100th time. It's very difficult. What I did buy, like I briefly mentioned earlier, but it wasn't on the Switch 2, but it is on the Switch 2, was Deltarune. But I have started playing it from the start. So there are 2 old chapters that I've already played, and now there's 2 brand new ones.
Yeah. And this is like the complete game now, or is there more after chapter 4?
No, it's not finished yet. There's 2 more, I think.
Okay.
But they will be free for people. I really love Undertale. I really love Toby Fox. I think he is a genius. I'm jealous of his talent, so but I haven't gotten to. I wanted to replay the original chapters just because there's bits you forget, and I'm old, I forget things. But I'm very excited to play the new chapters because Toby Fox is just incredible. He's just brilliant. It might take me a while to get to them because I am trying to do the secret bosses, and they are they're scary. Like Dark Souls level scary. So it might take me a little bit extra longer. But I really do want to talk about Deltarune, and I will keep it spoiler free because a big part of his games are like they're very story driven, and I'd rather people go into them not knowing all the ins and outs. So I won't spoil them, but I might give my first impressions on the new chapters.
Yeah. Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear it. That's going to do it for this episode of End Focus. I hope you all had a good time. I know we definitely had a good time in recording it. We'll see you all next time. If you're listening on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave that comment we said at the top of the show. Who's your favorite character to play in Mario Kart World so far? Have a good one, and we'll see you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, Hilke here. I just wanted to say thank you for listening to this episode of End Focus. If you had a good time with it, please leave us a review on iTunes. It really helps us get noticed. Also, please tell your friends if you think they'd be interested. Word of mouth really helps too. You can listen and subscribe on Spotify, iTunes, and other podcast services, as well as YouTube. If you are listening on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out our sister show, Game Podular Unfocused. New episode of that came out very recently. You can follow us on Blue Sky and at gamepodular.com for updates, news, and other content. Links to all of our socials, including the Discord, the Mastodon, and the Blue Sky, may be found at our Linktree. If you'd like to support our shows, you can buy us a coffee or become a Game Podular patron on the Patreon. The details for both both of which are on our website. Thank you. This episode was edited by me, Hilka, and you can follow me at Gear12Turbo at Kind on social on Mastodon or at Gear12Turbo.bluesky.social on Blue Sky. I was joined today by Rosalie, who you can find at littlerecordgirl.bluesky.social on Blue Sky. That's LITTLE Record Girl. Have a good one.